We need to weed out the real patriots. There's a lot of gatekeepers. There's a lot of people who are, I call, immature. There's a lot of people who don't connect the dots. They also want to balkanize, and they need to shut up. They need to stop talking because we're all going to die here real soon if we don't stop this. I have two websites, nutrimedical.com and clayandIron.com. And if you need a nutraceuticals needs consult, and I do them all over the world, you can call and schedule with Michelle, and that's at 888-212-8871. And that's talk number 1. So that's just warming up. Now, you want a little break? We'll give you a break while I get my next talk up. But we got lots of good stuff for you. This is just warming up. Yeah. I'm not sure what you can do. I'm not.
I think I have an idea here.
Okay, cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first. Why don't you adjust it first before I open up the next file?
All right.
Okay.
Here's what I think it is.
Make sure you had your bathroom break. The next one we're going to do, once you're ready, is technologies of the electronic cage, not age. The electronic cage. So just tell me when you're ready. Are we recording soon? Okay. Okay, everybody. This talk will be very succinct. Even if you've seen a lot about the electronic things that are going on and the mark and the national ID, you're going to see what I call a out-of-world view and then a zip right in that will give you a perspective that maybe you've not seen before. When you do, you're going to go, oh my God, you're going to get what I call the anal wink sign. Like, holy shit kind of sign. And the reason why I say that, and that 4-letter word, is because when you see this, you realize how damn close we are to them actually doing it. And this is not a joke, people. This small number here, you people that want to know the truth are what I call the avatars. They're the people who are like the bubbles in the champagne when the hands are put on the champagne bottle in anticipation that the cork is about to be relieved. There are several bubbles that decide to go to the top, and you are those bubbles. The next group are what I call the change shapers. They're the people that the next wave, I call the vast majority of the sheeple, keep their eyes locked on the back end of the change shapers. Now, they're not necessarily innovators, but they're the people that whatever the change shapers do, everybody else follows the back end of that sheep, and they do it. Because most of the third wave of the population have levels of consciousness slightly higher than cockroaches or bacteria. They're not really aware, as Einstein said, dead at 18, buried at 69. I'm going to use that quote that you gave me earlier there, Mark. That was good. I thought, that's good. And I'm fully capable of trading my quotes with theirs, too. So I'm going to keep it in this mode, so hopefully you'll see it all. Technologies of the electronic cage is kind of, I try to use these one-liners. There's basically 4 abused technologies: mind control and influencing. And if you look at the book recently by Dr. Nick Begich, you've got to get this book. We have it on clayandIron.com. That's CLAYAND iron.com. And you can also get it at... Oh, yeah, it's funny. I don't know why it shifted. I didn't do anything, actually. No, I just... Here, I'll hit that one again, see? Is that good?
Do you have dual monitors?
No.
You don't have double monitors?
No, just one.
I have a feeling it's the cursor. When you go off the edge of the cursor, that's probably what's moving the image.
You think so?
Take it all the way to the right. Just move the cursor all the way to the right. Yeah, that's what's doing it.
Oh, okay.
When you go off the edge...
Then it goes off. I better watch it then. Okay. The first is mind control and influencing, and that technology goes back to things like hypnotism in the 1940s, Nazi scientists, American scientists, people like Dr. Ewan Cameron. And I'll just tell you a little interesting anecdote. Dr. Cameron was supposed to have died after his research at the Montreal Neurological Institute mountain climbing in 1967. But I went to medical school in 1973 to 1977, and in 1975, my psychiatry professor teaching our class decided to have a special guest show up at our psychiatry teaching us. And fresh from the grave was Dr. Ewan Cameron. Isn't that interesting? Dr. Ewan Cameron, who died in 1967 mountain climbing, who was one of their favorite sons of mind control at the Montreal Neurological. It was wiping people's minds clean with these mind tanks where they literally, and he showed us all the slides. These are our reprogramming rooms where we completely wipe out the slate. And this is a big, tall guy. He's a big, strapping Scottish guy who must have been about 6'5", 6'6" at least. And you can imagine somebody like him with his huge hands on him, grabbing somebody and throwing him in one of these mind control chambers. And what they used to do basically is total isolation chambers with sound and light and everything until finally the person became a flaccid, empty vessel to be reprogrammed into whatever they wanted. And of course these technologies were used supposedly during the Korean War and afterwards. They used Reichian reprogramming using sexual or using pain and suffering or threats. They used these same technologies with sound and light and so on in Gitmo and in Abu Ghraib in Iraq. The next evil technology is biometric tracking. And it's not just RFID chips that are passive that can be tracked at 120 centimeters from the reader. These are active chips that can be tracked from space. And the global chipset is tracked from the GPS system in Colorado Springs at Schriever Air Force Base Falcon, which is the most secure military facility on the planet. It's 3 higher levels of security than NORAD. Nanotechnologies. They want to alter your genetics. They're altering your food now. These GMO foods, I call them GMO Frankenfoods. And the new nanotech foods are 10 times even more dangerous than the nanotech genetically modified Frankenfoods. And then quantum computing. And you have to see how they all tie together. So there's a circle of the electronic cage. And you look at the first, you see the RFID chip at the top, biometric ID. And those biometric IDs, and I was told that this is the way the technology is going to work. They're going to have what's called an opening code to your database, which will be in this huge quantum array, but they'll have it dispersed in other databases. And a lot of the data will be carried on the card that can be read by a reader. The opening code, this is actually what I was told back in 1998, would have something like 3 6s. First 6 would be a mesh barcode, which will identify where you are on the planet with 99 blocks on the Earth, 99 smaller blocks and 99 smaller ones will identify exactly where you reside. Second would be your age and year, month, day, and international dating system. And the third would be a number based on genetic subtype for your DNA haplotype for transplantation. So based on your numbers, they could know immediately if your organs could be taken and transplanted to someone else. Just like they do in all the prison systems and Laodai camps in China, which is the most favored satanic nation. Next step is quantum computing. When you have these teraflop supercomputers like Big Blue here in California, and even more powerful ones that they won't talk about, like the gallium arsenide supercomputers made with chips that are kept supercooled at 200 degrees Kelvin below zero, that can make 100,000 times more calculations than a Cray 4 computer that has more computing power than all the computers in history. Then these can do array modeling of your brain. And they actually have a thing called a virtual cities program. I had employees that were in Denver that were working in the center of the virtual cities program is to make a cybernetic model of every living thing, of every person, of every building, of every road, of every city, of every vehicle in the earth in a cybernetic model, virtual world, in hyperspace, in their supercomputer quantum arrays. And I took care of the employees that worked on it. They have it to a tolerance of less than half a centimeter for every single building and every road on the planet. And so they're building this, so they have a cybernetic model of all things. So that's why I want to put an RFID chip in every bottle of water, even every pill. So every OxyContin you have, they will be able to follow from your tongue to the disposal sewage containment facility. Okay? That's the kind of control they're talking about. Predictive modeling. At the Stanford University Predictive Modeling Facility at the University of California, San Francisco, Stanford, they have a predictive modeling plan, and they keep putting more data in, and they do things to perturbate the model. Whether they set up a model like Singapore or Abu Ghraib or Iraq. And when they do things, they try to see how does the model